This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA radio production.
If you always walk the same way, you'll always get to the same destination. Good afternoon, this is David Rabantos. This is chapter 28 of Radio Hadrian on its English version. As always, thanks very special to KA Radio, and we encourage you to follow all the programs, the best music, and a brilliant show after this, conducted by Ian Tuff. The Lone Gunman Rides Again, and that you make this station the beacon of liberty in Scotland and Catalonia. Thanks, because what we're doing here, humble as it is, it's impossible to do in Catalonia, where after 28 programs and also appearing in other programs in Truth Frequency Radio, as it happened yesterday, again, it is impossible to find a crack in the so-called pro-Indy media system in Catalonia, which is much bigger than in Scotland. Sadly, they don't work for independence, neither in Scotland nor in Catalonia, but they pretend to work for independence. So they exist, but they don't let independentists appear in it. Today, we want to talk about the elections of last Thursday in Catalonia, which again, for the fourth time in a row, have meant the victory of the pro-Indy forces. Sadly, we know they don't work for independence, but the voters are for independence, so there's a majority of voters that has shown in a majority of seats, no matter what they've told you, for independence in Catalonia. But the mention of if you always go the same way, you always get to the same destination is because this is not the first, this is not the second, this is not the third, but the fourth time we have won since 2014. But we're still not independent. So if we keep going the same way, the same parties, the same leaders, we're always getting to frustration and desperation because they never give us independence. So processes are done, and it's the same thing in Scotland, where they didn't let you win a referendum that was rigged, with a complete support to the rigging of the SNP. You've had majority in Holyrood several times. You've had majority of SNP members in Westminster for 2 times in a row, once 56 out of 59. But you're still not independent. So independent forces have won 8, 9 times between Scotland and Catalonia, and we're not independent. It means that the system, and not only the referendums, but the system is rigged against independence. Today, we'll comment briefly on the situation here. We have 135 seats in Catalonia, so majority is obtained with 68. We have a system which is 4 provinces, Barcelona, Tarragona, Lleida, and Girona, which apportionate different numbers of members of parliament, with Barcelona apporting 85 and the other 50 divided more or less evenly between Girona, Lleida, and Tarragona. These elections have been nominally won by Ciudadanos, which is a neo-fascist anti-Catalanist party led by Inés Arrimadas. But this has happened because Spain, that runs the 7 parties competing, for 3 under the unionist flag, 3 under the pro-Indy flag, and 1 as a third way. Spain controls the 7 parties. So Spain has decided that Ciudadanos won once by publishing fake opinion polls. Opinion polls are there to manipulate people, not to inform people. And then they become self-fulfilling prophecies. The polls have insistently said that Ciudadanos was going to win, with which they have taken away unionist votes from Socialist Party and Partido Popular from Rajoy. So they've been helped by the powers that be. And on the other hand, Spain has decided that its 3 puppets, Puigdemont, Junqueras of Esquerra, and CUP, have gone in a situation where there's violence, people in prison, people in exile, all of them supposedly. Not violence, which was real, but everything else, 2 fake declarations of independence, and they run away. And even in that situation, you don't go together as one to enforce independence? No way, Jose. This is organized by Spain. Spain, with these 2 tactics, fake polls, supporting with a lot of money Ciudadanos, unifying the unionist vote, and dividing the pro-Indy vote, has given the image that the unionists have won. But that's not true. But as we said, we need new ways and we need new destination. Destination independence, and the new way is the political movement organized against the Catalan resistance, which is the one that is kind of running Radio Hadrian. And we're gonna, in the next 24 months, organize the people of Catalonia to force some elections in which we are gonna obtain a majority that would declare independence. We're gonna go without trying to be very boring with details, but trying to explain what went on here. Number one, it's Ciudadanos with 37 seats, but has no real possibility of running because the unionists won't have a majority of 68. It's a person that is an accomplice of me being locked and tortured because, well, I gave her a flyer of my hunger strike, but after I had been released, I spoke with her as member of parliament, and she hasn't done anything about what I told her, so I consider her to be an accomplice in what happened to me. So once independence is declared, she's gonna face charges. So sure, she has an interest in that not happening. These neo-fascists or these anti-Catalans that are in Catalonia, they said a lot of lies the day we won. They said 1 of 4 Catalans have voted for us, is 1 in 7. They said it's the first time a unionist party wins in Catalonia, which is not the case because the Socialist Party has won already twice. And they gave a lot of lies. And one of the main things they said is that the electoral system, which kind of benefits slightly more some rural areas than Barcelona, has costed them seats. And she said it insistently in Catalan television. And well, Mrs. Arrimadas, you lie. Because you have 25% of voting, which would give you 34 seats, but you have 37. So actually the system, a system that protects the bigger parties, has given you 1 in 12 of the seats you have. Not a bad present. And of course there's other parties like Junts per Catalunya and Esquerra that also have +5, +3. But it's basically Socialist Party, Catalunya en Comú and CUP, which have a -2, and Partido Popular, which is not something that's gonna make us cry here in Radio Hadrian. Should have got 6 but got 3, hadn't it been because of the electoral system. But the most prejudiced by the system, the most damaged are, for instance, PACMA, which are the animal defenders, which with their 0.89, they should have got more than 1 seat in Catalan parliament. So those defending the rights of animals have really been deprived of that right. So there's 5 parties that should be complaining about the system, and you that are benefited by it are complaining insanely about it. So that's what's in stock in Catalonia nowadays. Imagine how deep the genocide goes when people can vote for a majority of a neo-fascistic anti-Catalan party that lies more than talks. So that's what we need. A big change in Catalonia, in schools, communication, media, and society in general, so these things cannot happen. On the other hand, we have the Socialist Party, which went from 16 to 17, which is a non-event, but with the peculiar thing that they have a tiny party that used to be in the pro-Catalan side and now has moved side, but they are staunch Catholics and they've always been very homophobic. And the poetical justice in here is that Miquel Iceta, the leader of the socialists in this election, is known to have been the first openly homosexual politician to express this fact. So to have these people playing the tambourine for a homosexual politician after they always have been considering homosexuality in something that is unacceptable, they have considered homosexuality almost to be an illness. Well, these people have had to swallow their ideals, if you can call that an ideal, but you know what I mean. So you show that in politics, principles can always be surrendered to political interest. The important thing here is Partido Popular. Partido Popular is Rajoy's party. They've only got 3 seats. It's the worst result ever. As you used to laugh about being more pandas in Scotland than they were Tories some time ago. Well, it's a bit the same thing. This Catalan Parliament is in the Citadel Park. The Citadel Park is also the zoo. So now you can say that there's more giraffes in the Citadel Park than there are members of Partido Popular. But jokes aside, the relevant thing here is Partido Popular called in these elections, and now they're 7th out of 7 competing parties. Which means that when they were planning these elections, a bit like Theresa May calling the snap election that benefited Jeremy Corbyn, it means that they're following higher powers that be and not their own political interest. So that's important. Secondly, it's important to show that Catalonia has never been, is not, and will never be Spanish. How can you be Spanish when the party that runs Spain, the heirs apparent of Franco and all the genocide Catalans have been suffering for more than 3 centuries, they are 7th out of 7 in Catalonia. So it's a bit clear it's not the same country, isn't it? But thirdly, and more relevant, and that's what I would call the Hadrian approach to things, because it's something that nobody else in Catalonia would say, it kind of shows without shadow of doubt that if Catalonia has been kept for 40 years under the yoke of Spain after Franco died, and certainly it's not by Partido Popular, which are non-entity with 3 members of parliament out of 135, they've never been very relevant here. That means that the dirty job of keeping Spain, controlling Catalonia or keeping Catalonia under Spain, has been done by the so-called Catalan or independentist parties, isn't it? Because certainly Partido Popular, they cannot even play a poker game among them. So it is not them the real enemy in Catalonia, is it? Somebody is doing the dirty work to keep us Spanish. More relevant thing is this Xavier García Albiol. This Xavier García Albiol, that is a xenophobic guy, the leader of Partido Popular, that Mr. Stephen Bergen, that used to write in Scotsman and in Guardian, made an article in the Guardian saying that he was independentist when he is the contrary, something that Mr. Stephen Bergen or the Guardian should be out of the market, like in a minute. But this article written by Stephen Bergen, the associate and the guy in the Rupert Murdoch payroll that set up a newspaper called Catalonia Today with none other than Carles Puigdemont. So it's all a farce, it's all a joke. But the most relevant thing is this guy, this xenophobic unionist leader of Partido Popular, but nonetheless related to Carles Puigdemont through an article with Stephen Bergen, let out that Ciudadanos, the winner apparent of these elections, shouldn't be that happy because anyways they're gonna be in the opposition for a few months. Months? I thought the terms in Catalan Parliament were 4 years. So what do Xavier García Albiol of PP know that by this Freudian slip came out? What is it gonna be, Xavier García Albiol? Maybe a Scottish-style referendum in a few months to steal independence finally from the Catalan people? It seems so. Now we're going to the other side, the technically called pro-Indy side, but which we call processes side because processes don't bring independence. We know, as we mentioned in chapter 3, that Carles Puigdemont is a Spanish mole that reached there through threats, shenanigans, secret services, manipulating elections and putting him there. A guy which is an accomplice of me being locked up, and he's an accomplice of 2 fake declarations of independence, the 10th and the 27th of October, when he didn't declare. And then to make things worse, he runs away to Belgium. Well, he has won in the Pro-Indy side with 34, said 37 Ciutadans, 34 Junts per Catalunya, and he has been helped by known double agents or moles like Marc Serra Parés, which is sponsored in networks, social media, by Assemblea Nacional Catalana, which is the grassroots organization that shamelessly has supported Carles Puigdemont, and by Spain, which organized a march in Brussels a few days ago where 50,000 well-intentioned pro-Indy people, not knowing that the march was organized by Spain, they showed their influence. Which these 3 things have catapulted Carles Puigdemont to a majority. Now the farce goes on because he's supposed to come back because he promised, and the minute he sets foot here he should be sent to prison. So that's why he has offered a meeting with Rajoy outside of Spain, a meeting in which he says they should negotiate with no preconditions. What do you mean no preconditions? You're supposed to have declared the Catalan Republic a few weeks ago. What do you mean no preconditions? Then again, everybody is talking about referendum again and these things to murder independence. So keep posted. Then on the pro-Indy field, we have Esquerra Republicana de Catalunya with 32 seats. They were supposed to win, and we thought they would. And my mistake was to not realize that Spain runs all the horses in this race, so they don't need Oriol Junqueras from Esquerra, the Deputy Prime Minister of Catalonia, that is having quite a relaxed staying in prison, where he's allowed to do international press articles and tweets, and he can run the show from inside. But I didn't realize that Spain runs all the horses. So why do they need to force things to make Junqueras president when they own Puigdemont as well, and Partido Popular, Ciudadanos, PSOE, CUP, they run everything. So it doesn't really matter who we vote because they run the show completely. The only important thing is that number 2 of Esquerra, Marta Rovira, which is somebody who's an accomplice of not declaring independence in 2015, the 2 fake declarations of 2017, and committing state terror against Catalonia by saying that they didn't declare independence because there would have been dead people on the street, and something that she did to benefit Spain, to cover the treason and to terrorize Catalans against independence, something that one day she also will have to face charges for. Then she went as far as insulting the intelligence of Catalans, saying that even with Oriol Junqueras in prison, we have done very good, we've got good results. Even with Oriol Junqueras in prison, Marta Rovira? Can somebody over the level of utter idiocy doubt that being made a victim and being put in prison by Spain, it's something that pushes good-hearted people to vote for you? How can you insult people so blatantly, saying, even when he was in prison? No, madam. He was put in prison to benefit him. And you won't lie to people. People listening to Radio Hadrian won't be lied by the likes of you. Finally, a minor party, CUP, with 4 seats, comes down from 10. Technically, they could be necessary because for a majority of 68, Junts per Catalunya of Puigdemont and Esquerra of Oriol Junqueras add up, total up 66. So the 4 of CUP are necessary. But CUP has come down from 10 because last time round, double agent Joan Vives and Soler Vicens was doing campaign for them. And this time hasn't happened, so they have come back to their residual normal state. CUP were ones that are supposed to be independentist and anti-system, but are the ones that have been attacking me and turning me down more for the last 4 years. So they are only anti-system and pro-independence, just in name. Thanks for those like Pat Lee and Solidarity that have come out congratulating Catalans, though there's more to it than meets the eye. I expect that we people from Resistance are gonna meet people from Solidarity and Pat himself in Scotland in 2018. We wish you some good time this Christmas or this winter solstice, whichever your choice of life is. The Catalan resistance keeps growing. As we announced, we're gonna try to make this program more popular with some cosmetic changes. We're trying to have access to press conferences. We're having the team in Catalonia spreading this program with flyers in universities and in commerces. We're gonna have a weekly soon. We're preparing a documentary and other things that are gonna turn the tables, both on unionist and both in processist, which are two different ways to work for Spain. We keep growing in support every day. There's more people listening to this program. We keep getting encouragement. We're meeting people face to face. More people are joining our movement. And we are winning, and we're gonna win. Visca Catalunya lliure!
This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA Radio production.